I've been a janitor for almost 20 years. You get used to weird noises in old buildings, creaking pipes, humming lights, air ducts that seem to groan when the heating kicks in. You tune most of it out, but one time something very weird happened in my building. It wasn't just noise, not really. I worked in an old 6-story mid-century office block downtown. Nothing glamorous, beige walls, grey cubicles, those ugly patterned carpets that look static. I worked the graveyard shift, 10 PM to 6 AM. Most nights alone. The first time I noticed something was off was mid-January, cold as hell outside, and the heating in the building wasn't great. I was mopping the second floor hallway around 2 AM. That's when I heard it, scratching above me. It was faint at first, soft, like fingernails on metal, but it moved. Started above one room and scraped its way down the ceiling, towards the end of the hall. Slow, dragging. Then silence. I looked up at the ceiling tiles. Nothing. I figured rats, maybe a raccoon got in. Old buildings like that, it happens. A few nights later, same thing, except this time it wasn't just scratching, it was dragging. Like something or someone was crawling through the vents. You know the sound knees make on metal? That dull, shifting thud? That's what I heard. It lasted maybe 10 seconds, then it stopped. So I told maintenance the next morning. They laughed it off and said, "You're the one with the mop, grab a broom next time." I didn't press it. The noises kept happening, always after 1 AM. Always just 1 or 2 floors. And always that same dragging sound. Some nights I swore I heard it breathing, a soft exhale, like someone trying not to be heard. That's when it stopped being funny. I started checking the vents with a flashlight. Nothing. I even popped open one of the ceiling tiles in the hallway, but it was just darkness and dust. Then came the smell. Week 3. I was taking out trash from the 3rd floor kitchenette when I caught a whiff of something. Sour, like old meat left in a hot car. It wasn't strong, but it lingered. I checked the fridge. Clean. I emptied all the beans. Still the smell was there. Climbing into the vents wasn't my job, so I wrote up another report and taped it to the maintenance room door. Next morning, the head of building maintenance, Greg, called me. Said they didn't find anything, but they'd put traps in the ducts just in case. Rats again. Always rats. That was the last I heard from Greg. Until 2 weeks later. It was around 4:15 AM on a Friday. I remember because I was cleaning the 5th floor and listening to a podcast. Suddenly, everything cut out. Headphones went dead. Lights flickered. Then, that sound again. Scraping. But this time, it was different. It was above me, and it was fast. Crawling. Too fast. Not animal fast. Human fast. I froze, mop in hand, staring up at the ceiling. The sound passed over me and just stopped. Literally just stopped. I backed away slowly, heart pounding, every hair on my arm standing up. I didn't finish the floor that night. I sat in the break room with the lights on and waited out my shift. Next morning, I called Greg, left a voicemail, told him it wasn't rats, told him someone was up there. He didn't call back. But 3 days later, I showed up to work and found the building crawling with contractors, ladders, panels removed, vent covers off. The air smelled like dust and metal. I caught one of the workers on a smoke break and asked what was going on. He said, "Someone's been living in the ducts." I laughed. He didn't. Apparently when they went to replace some warped ducting on the 2nd floor, they found a nest. That's what the guy called it. A nest. Inside one of the larger vent spaces, a spot above the conference room, they found 3 old blankets, stained and filthy, a pile of candy wrappers and fast food containers, empty water bottles, a small battery-powered lamp, and a pair of women's shoes. They even found a torn photograph taped to the duct wall. Looked like a Polaroid, but faded. They wouldn't tell me what was in it. I asked if they found the person. He just shook his head. I didn't finish that shift. I told my supervisor I was taking sick leave and walked out. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Someone had been crawling through that building at night, living above the offices, watching. Security said the motion detectors never went off. There were no forced entries, no signs of anyone ever coming in or out, which means they were already inside for weeks, maybe longer. Eventually they called the police. I found the report online, public record. It said, "Unknown individual may have accessed ductwork through maintenance crawl spaces. No suspects found. Duct living space was vacated prior to discovery. Investigation ongoing." That was it. That's all they had. 2 weeks later, I quit. I couldn't go back there, not after knowing what I know. But sometimes, I think back on those nights. The dragging, the breathing. And one night in particular, about a week before they found the nest, when I was mopping the 3rd floor break room, I remember glancing at one of the ceiling vents. The grate looked off, like it had been moved. And I swear I saw something inside. Just for a second, 2 eyes, wide open, watching me.